Girl, we back.
We are back.
This episode was crazy.
Whew. This episode was intense.
It was,
It was intense.
It gave me so much joy. And at the same time, I was in shock the entire,
Yes.
wow.
Yes.
So, you know what? Hi guys, I'm Sophia Stevens, the host of the Maiden Myth. This is my co-host.
I'm Jennifer Edison.
And we have a special guest with us today. Kelly!
Yes.
Why did I just do that?
Ladies.
How beautiful.
Hi, gorgeouses. How are you all?
We're wonderful. I'm happy you're here.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Girl, you looking cute in that pink.
I had to rep my soror on the low,
What you pledge? AKA?
I'm in an AKA. Yes.
Listen, you repping it well.
Thank you.
You want to tell the world before we start talking about yourself?
Yes.
You got a lot of stuff going on.
I do. And it's also fun to run down because it makes sure that I don't forget anything.
See?
Which, so that's how I choose to use these moments.
Right.
So first and foremost, I'm Dr. Kelly Thomas. I am a licensed clinical psychologist here in California. Yes. I have a license in New York as well and in Illinois. I am pursuing a license in Florida, just off the strength of a project that I'm involved in. And then COVID made mental health just much more
a priority.
Mainstream
and
mainstream. Accepted and things like that. So because of that, there are more people than providers because providers were also going through COVID.
Exactly.
Providers need help.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm looking to branch out and expand my practice in Florida and get licensed there and keep that going. So that's part of what that's one person who shows up for me on sometimes. And then in addition to that, I'm a supervisor at it's not small anymore, a Meridian Counseling Center. It's growing really, really fast based on the things I just said. And it offers telehealth services. I know they're here in California and also in Utah, and I supervise 4 associates there as they are emerging therapists, and I get to guide them in their journey to learn the field and practice. And then I created this
I was waiting for it.
this song lyrics trivia game called Lyrikel Genius. It's super fun. I love how it's grown and how I've even grown in it because I still am very oh no, don't look at me. It's okay.
No, you created an app, a game.
I did.
And we're playing today.
Apple Store and Play Store for
wow.
Don't do
that's amazing.
Did you see the touch for the Play Store?
For the Play Store.
What you Apple users won't do? Green Gang, stand up. Where y'all at? Where y'all at? I'm telling you, we're not a part of the cult. We're not a part of this clan. No, but honestly, I'm so proud of you, and I look forward to us playing this game.
Yes, it seamlessly interfaces between both operating systems. You can play on tablets, iPads, phones.
Are we gonna talk more about it?
All the things.
Absolutely.
That's dope.
We're playing Lyrikel Genius.
I'm here for it.
Y'all got to get this game. It's amazing. Okay, so anyway, let's talk about the episode.
Yes.
Episode 9, Single Mothers by Choice. How did it leave you feeling? Do you have thoughts about anything that stood out in this episode?
Yeah, this episode was heavy and bright at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know I had a preconceived notion about being a single mother by choice prior to listening to this episode. And then it just blew everything out of the water.
Yeah.
Because, the first story was about trauma.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like anybody going through that, this is the path for you.
Yeah, you don't tell them what to do.
Yeah, it's like, I understand it so much. It's like, putting myself in her shoes, it's like, no, I would do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Like without question.
Yeah.
And then the second story was sort of the opposite.
Yeah,
it
was, yeah.
But it was like, this is not going to hold me back. This is what I want. This relationship is really not conducive for it. And one thing she said was, I think she mentioned, if she were to look back on her life and would she be unhappy if she never got married? And the answer was like, oh, I'll be okay. But she would have been unhappy without a child. So it's like, what you gonna do?
Yeah. Right.
Go get your baby.
Go get your baby.
And it just puts it into a completely different category. And I felt like so much empathy and compassion, and I can relate to it. You know, it's like, okay, that's different. When you have a burning passion like that, sometimes you got to figure out a way to make it happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How about you?
I thing that stuck with me the most is the bravery that comes from making that decision for yourself. Because, I mean, it's all the rave now. One of my colleagues has a podcast called Balanced Working Mama, and she talks about default parent, and that's the mother most of the time. And and that's in marriages, that's in boyfriend, girlfriend, that's in co-parenting. Nobody, you know, so the mother gets it all anyway. So sometimes having a partner may not be as glorified, I guess.
Yeah.
So to take your power pretty much back from a situation that kind of makes it seem like you won't have without another person, like you need a man to have a baby. And no, like that woman's father said, you don't need that. Go get your baby.
Yeah.
So as I was listening, for me, it resonated because I want children. Maybe I'm not brave enough to jump out and do it by myself from scratch, if we say, right?
Yeah.
Because I've definitely considered adoption and adopting a baby from small, right? But not carrying it myself. But the idea to choose to carry a baby on your own, by yourself, how to say, is really, really brave. And I have a friend who even is into it and trying to make that happen for her as well.
Really?
Yes.
She's doing the process right now.
She's doing the process, yeah. So, you know, we were with her. It was about last year she was going through it. And and I even commended her because I said, I get it. I don't know that I would do it, but I get it.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely a growing demographic, and it's what I've always said. This is for people who feel called to be a mother in this way.
Yes.
I know that the idea of having a mini me is very, sweet. It's exciting, and it's just something I look forward to, and I have looked forward to. But at the same time, I don't think that is strong enough for me to go out and do it by myself because I understand all that comes after that. You know what I mean? It's almost like getting excited about the wedding and forgetting the marriage.
At the marriage, what are you going to do on the Tuesday after that Saturday?
Everybody's gone. And the gifts have been opened. And whatever.
And now it's back to
exactly normal. And it's the same thing. Like the pregnancy to me is kind of like, well, I guess it's not really like, I don't know if that's the best analogy, but nevertheless, it's you have to raise the baby by yourself. And so I'm kind of like, oof.
Yeah.
They felt, no, this is my calling. This is what I wanted to do. And here's a story, the first story, she really touched me just with, I felt like I'm still a mother, but where is my child?
Yeah.
That was like.
She even mentioned what stuck with me. She said once she did get pregnant, she felt like, now I'm back to what it is. Now I'm me again. And I'm not living, for myself only. So it just struck me as a deep passion and a calling, like you said. And that's a different kind of thing.
It's a totally different thing. Do you feel that calling in your life?
I would love to have children. And see, the distinction I make all the time is I want a family.
Yeah.
Which comes with a husband and children. Because if I wanted to have a kid, I could have had a kid a lot of times. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I don't want to just have a child. I want to have a family. But I don't know. Like when that woman asked herself the question, if I don't get married again, how would I feel? Or if I don't have kids, what's that like? And to some degree, I really would like to get married again. And I don't know that my life would be like broken if I didn't have a child. But I definitely wonder what my legacy would be as a result.
Oh, that's very interesting. I feel like families are even without partners. So I will say that. But I do get what you're saying. Yeah. It's like, I don't want to do this by myself.
Right.
And honestly, I don't even think this job is for two people.
I think it's for a village.
It is.
Yo, like I need my sister and her husband, they're in Dallas. And I remember one time my nephew was giving, this little dude was on 10. He was like, in the car. And she was like, I'm so tired. This is not a good idea to move away from your family. And I'm like, you need
it.
family. You need a break. The
Yeah.
parents need a break.
They need a break.
So I'm like,
it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
it's a whole lot.
Yeah.
And they both, I believe both of them have very strong villages. I
Yeah.
know Hera was talking about hers, with her father and her sister and how she felt supported. But yeah, this is not for the faint of heart,
No.
raising
It is
babies.
not. It is not.
But you mentioned something. Wait, did you want to say something?
Well, no, you can go ahead. I mean, I was going to answer the question, but no.
No, answer it.
Yeah, no. So
about the calling.
about the calling. Now, I can't say that I feel called or not called, but if I were to look back on my life and I didn't have kids, I feel like I'm at a place in my life where
I'll be all right.
I'm okay. And I'll tell you why. I don't know if it would be the same without this. My nieces.
Oh, see, and I have nieces.
yes.
I have a niece who's 2 in January, a nephew who just turned 4, and my brother's wife. They're all these same kids, siblings. Is pregnant now. They live in DC, so I don't get the fix like I want. But to your point, I could just give it all to them, whatever.
Yeah. When my sister had her first, she was the first to have a child. Her husband at the time was in the Navy, so he was deployed. So she had to come home. She's like, "Look, help me." So
she needed help.
And I felt like, okay, this was kind of my baby too. And then her
It
second
is.
one, and then my brother's too. So it was like, I feel like I've experienced, and now Auntie is different from Mama.
Definitely.
Now let's be clear.
Auntie, yes. We can't.
We can
we're
go
not
home
crazy.
and say
Yes.
bye-bye.
And that's the whole reason why we love it.
Exactly.
Yes,
Okay.
That's the pro.
For sure.
But it's like you do get to see a life.
Yeah.
Form
beginning.
and then come out, and from the beginning, you
And
see
you're
the little
contributing.
personalities. You're contributing.
Yeah.
You're helping to shape who they are. So I feel like I'm experiencing that. So I don't feel like I've missed out wholeheartedly on just that type of thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I would have to have my own child, because I do, like, I love my nieces so much. They're my heart.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I mean, on a very slightly but honest tangent to some degree, Black women really have a hard time when they're pregnant, and mortality for Black women in pregnancy is higher than anybody else.
is that because of healthcare? Well, is this controversial?
Well, no, it doesn't matter if it's controversial, if it's the truth.
But that's true.
I mean, and not to star name drop, but Serena Williams.
I was, I'm like, that's the GOAT. Now, if y'all giving her issues, if y'all not taking her seriously.
Y'all are giving her the whole blues. So that's one thing that
It's scary.
It's scary.
It's scary.
It's scary, and it doesn't necessarily keep me from wanting to do it, because I still would love to experience that. But I also recognize that, we don't always get the
best treatment.
Yes,
I sometimes, this
very
makes me
true.
go into conspiracy mode sometimes. Like,
what happens if you're always there?
I'm like, are they trying to discourage us from having kids?
Yeah,
That's another conversation. But
Yeah.
I'm like, it is true, and we can all do better. But that is a legitimate reason that some women are even choosing
to leave it alone.
to not do it. They're like, I want to live.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to live. And when you think about how close you come to death, when you are giving birth,
Yeah.
and that's without complications.
And I will tell you, my mother told me and scared a mess. She said, it's the worst pain you'll feel that you don't die from.
Okay, thanks, Mom.
I was like, thanks, Mom. That really makes me want to rush out. And
Okay.
Yeah. It's just so the relief of death is better than the pain.
Kill me. What? And then there's some women who are like, oh, he just fell out. I'm like, it's just so different.
So different for
I literally
everybody.
saw a video last week.
did
Did you
you?
see that?
Yes.
Where she was just like,
She sure did.
here.
He's here in the car. She sure did.
Lord, if
we
it's
could all
gonna
be
be
like
me,
that.
Yeah, that's right.
sign
up
me
for that.
up. Yeah, for
Sign
real.
me up
Like
for that.
then I'd probably
need
have
to study
7
her.
kids right here. Throwing them things out. Wow. So yes, I actually love being the cool. Are you the cool auntie? Because I'm the cool auntie.
I am so the cool auntie.
And even if I wasn't, I would go on and believe that I was. But I am the cool auntie. You the cool auntie?
I would, yes, my sister will probably try to rival me. And then
Why?
my brother-in-law has a twin sister. So she would probably rival as
Y'all
well.
fighting
But
this spot.
I mean,
These children are spoiled because I'm like, you
Coming
getting
from everywhere,
everything
everywhere.
you want from me.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, my nephews, I love them so much.
yeah.
So has it ever plagued you that you don't have children right now? I know you said you're good with being the cool auntie, but are you like, I don't know, like, well, maybe I should start with me, okay? So it's nothing that I think about every day by any means. It's not even what I think about consistently. I can write down how often I think about this. However, I didn't realize there was like a little anxiety. And I think it's because it's ingrained in us that there comes a time when that just will not be a possibility.
Yeah.
Okay? That is another conversation. And sometimes I'm like, how much can I say? Because I don't feel like I have the credentials. I mean, I don't know how much you know about this, but I do believe that this whole geriatric pregnancy at 35 is a stretch.
Yes.
And I want to know, where did that even come from? But because I'm seeing so many people get pregnant at 40, you know, women have complications getting pregnant
Anyway.
from 20. Yeah, it's like, so I don't know. I have to do more research, but my anxiety doesn't stem from me being 40. But I'm like, but time is ticking. I'm not, you know, oblivious to the fact that there comes a point where it just does become difficult.
Right.
I remember going out with my parents last year. They came to visit me. And we're sitting down outside, enjoying the day, having some food, whatever. And I felt compelled to apologize to them.
Oh.
I start crying at the table. I'm like, I just want to apologize to you all for not, one, being married, but more importantly, not having children. And I just cried and I'm sorry. You know, I know you want to be a grandmother and I feel like I'm the oldest child and I should have delivered on this. And I mean, I didn't even realize how much I was holding. Yeah. But, and I'm like, what were we talking about but I just felt compelled at that moment to just apologize, let it all out. They looked at me like, we never asked you for that. We've never asked you for a grandchild. And they, of course, you know, they showered me with love. They made me feel like, and I believe them, but yet I felt the need to apologize to them. I can't imagine what women are going through with parents who were like, when am I going to get
grandbaby? Where's my grandbaby? What you waiting on? You be working too much. Leave that job alone, ain't it?
Like, I can't imagine now.
Yeah, it's for those individuals who are having that experience, it's dismissive of whatever it is they're doing that is keeping them from having a kid. I mean, maybe this person knows they're not responsible enough.
Right.
And or would rather buy shoes.
Yeah. And it's like, who gonna keep the baby once the baby get here?
Once the baby gets here.
It's like, I don't know. But anyway, have you all ever had that moment where you either were mourning, grieving the fact that you didn't have a child, or maybe that has never come for you? Maybe you're just, and there's nothing wrong with that because there are many women who are happily child-free.
I think I got caught up in the time clock at one point.
Yeah.
And I think it was more about the idea of having kids or maybe what it meant to not have kids and not be married by a certain age. And it was more about, let me
like,
help
who
you
are
do this.
you? What's your worth if you don't have a child as a woman?
Right. Because they place a lot of value on, I mean, when you think about, even when people pass away, it's like, it's sadder
if they don't have any kids.
It's sadder if they're leaving a child or a spouse behind versus
I was
single
thinking
person.
The other way.
It's like, it's extra sad if you had a child.
You know, you're kind of right because then you're like, well, who's gonna do when the whole
he's back? They lost their mom or their dad.
So the value, like your value is higher in society's eyes.
Okay, let me challenge that. What if it's just higher because it's really about the lives you affect? Because if you think about somebody like an Oprah Winfrey or even Mother Teresa, women because there are other, that brings us to another conversation. There are other ways to be a mother.
Yeah.
Right? And explore motherhood. So do you think it's mostly that opposed to them just having kids?
You mean being a mother? I think it's your mother, when you're a mother and a spouse, people, they kind of feel like, I think it does play into who you're leaving behind.
Right. But I mean, do you think it would be just as painful to lose someone who has no children, but they have affected an entire community?
It's really, I mean, I would say yes, for the simple fact that you really can't quantify a person's loss.
Impact.
You know what I mean? Like losing a parent is horrible. Losing a child is horrible. Losing a best friend is horrible.
Yeah.
You don't know what somebody means to somebody else. And you can never say, well, you know, this is worse than that.
I think what this conversation, it kind of goes back to earlier where it's about legacy, and I think it changes if you've become someone who impacts people, or if you wrote a book that everybody now can read. So for me, I had to change what I recognized as what I'm leaving behind. Because it doesn't have to be a person.
Right.
It could be my dissertation. It could be a book I wrote. It could be the conference I did. It could be Lyrikel Genius. I mean, that's, you know what I mean? So
your impact on someone or people.
I'll tell you that lyrical, it's like a kid. It's like I had to stick with it. I had to, grind it out and do all the things. So that's one thing that I kind of had to reframe what legacy meant and what legacy looked like. And, I'm not to plug AKA, but I'm a legacy in AKA. My mother's an AKA. My sister, my sister-in-law, her mom, her sister, their mom, like our whole family, their brother's wife, everybody. My nieces in the future. But yeah, so when I think about legacy like that, like, okay, it's because I'm my mother's daughter that I am granted access to this beautiful organization. And if my legacy is only wrapped up in my kids, which it may not, I might not have any, then what? And if I, like we said, we put value on it, and if that's how I'm defining success in life or all the things, then all the other things that will be here after I leave lose their diminish in value because I've put more value on one thing than another.
Right. Wow, that's really good. That's another way I feel life is asking you to be creative, right? It's like there's not one way to be fruitful in your life. And you are absolutely correct. It's like, what else are you producing?
Yeah.
What else are you giving birth to?
Right.
And these things can truly affect people in just the same way as another human being can. Absolutely. You know what I mean? And another thing is, if you become an interesting kind of parent if you really view your children as your legacy.
Yeah, because what if they don't want to do
that?
You envision for them?
Right.
Like what does that legacy look like, and what does it require of them?
Right.
Because they're their own person.
They're a person. They can do what they want to do, and I think if you see them as, an extent. Well, we are extensions of our parents, but at the same time, if all of your legacy is laying in this human being that you created, then you really do have to dictate
what they do,
because that's my name.
Right.
They don't get to experience the world the way they see it, or
Like you say, you would hope you have a child that wants to do fashion if that's what you're into. But if not, and they want to turn cartwheels, but they become a gymnast. But
see,
they don't care about cuts and sewing and none of the
so many relationships have been broken because parents are insisting on their children being a particular way, really for themselves, not for the sake of the child.
Exactly.
Have you all ever felt, like, do you all feel that pressure, or have you felt that pressure to become a mother from anyone, like family members or?
Not from outside. I've been in school for many, many years. I was in school for many years. So I was in an undergrad and then master's and doctorate. So it didn't make sense. Also, I wasn't, I have to be married by 25 so I can do this at 27 and this at, blah, blah, blah. Was never, and no shade to those girls because some of them get exactly what they want.
Yeah.
But that's just my life. And I think we were talking about a little earlier, my life even now doesn't lend itself easily to the addition of a child, especially if I'm alone and I'm doing it as a single person. And my family is scattered everywhere. And I have a beautiful tribe here that I'm growing, which I love and I'm so appreciative for, but I recognize that it's not my mom, it's not my sister. So I did have thoughts like, oh man, I should have a kid. I want to have a kid, but I know I'm not in a relationship where it would not be stressful.
Right. And that's the key.
I'm sure motherhood and parenting and all of that is stressful. I've had a run at it, but it's different when you're doing it alone and when you're choosing.
When you're choosing.
Not because you got with someone and it didn't work out, not because of all the things you decided. Like we keep saying, it's a calling. It's not just like, I want to have pancakes. Oh, and I wish there was a kid here eating them with me. Let me go get a kid. You know what I mean? Like,
which is amazing that we can do that though, right?
But we can do that.
But do you think it's easier that they chose it rather than it happening by chance? I would say 100%. 100% in every way.
Yeah.
Yeah, because your mental preparation goes a long way. It lends to your patience.
That's the most of parenthood is mental preparation. It's like mental everything. It's like, it's physical, but I feel like it's really mentally draining.
Yeah.
And so if you you don't even expect somebody to help. You can't even be disappointed.
And I guess the thing that keeps me from jumping real and like, oh yeah, it must be easier, absolutely, because of all of the things. But both of those situations had to grieve the fact that they weren't having it in the way.
Yo, that's real.
You know what I mean? So grieving that I was with someone and we were going to have a baby and this whole thing and now not. Or I was never with someone and I really want a kid and I got to grieve that that's not happening. So that's the first thing that's hit in my chest.
Emotionally,
it's on a different, like the parallel continuums, I would say. Like there are two tracks running the same because they're both having to deal with the guilt. I mean, not the guilt, but the grief. Grieving the, you know what I mean? Because at least in the women that we spoke with, they wanted to have partners and children. And then they got to a point where they realized that wasn't going to happen. So they had to grieve that desire before they could move to being accepting the fact that, okay, I'm not going to have anybody to call and I'm not, all the things. And then the woman who had this man that was in a relationship and at some point they decided to create a life together and then that life doesn't happen. Now she has to grieve that.
Right.
So I don't know which one is necessarily easier because I think they both are really tough because you got to
I don't know.
Radically accept.
I think you just spit some real truth right there. I would 100% say I agree with that. And yet, ultimately, I'm going to say single mothers by choice have an easier time simply because they're not expecting, hoping someone to come in. They're not dealing with anyone who's inconsistent. They're not dealing with somebody who is tearing down the work that they're investing in their children. Like I'm teaching my children how to behave, how to speak, how to eat, what time. My kids may be on a tight schedule and then I got to deal with this man now destroying all of that because we're not in the same household or him just not showing up and hurting my babies. Like I'm like, oh, that's another added thing. But I did not take time to really think about they all go through the grief of this isn't how I wanted it to go.
Exactly.
That's true.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hats off to those ladies.
Hats off to
those ladies. Because and I have my sister's really good friend, adopted a little girl on her own, has the little baby. I think the baby's 7 or 8, 9, something like that now. Then she had a kid after that. So being a mother happens any way you really want it to.
Anyway.
Did you feel pressure to be a mom?
At one point, I did feel pressured. I have a huge family. So, both of my parents are one of 10. And then their siblings have between 6 and 13 kids. So there's a lot of cousins. And, I'm on the older end of the majority. So once some of the ones that you remember changing their diapers, now they popping up.
You had your experience with motherhood.
Yes. You mean with my nieces?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but this was prior
diapers? To that. Prior to that, I felt the pressure.
Oh, I see.
Because you got the younger cousins coming under. Everybody's popping out babies, and the questions are, when are you gonna have babies? When are you getting married? Do you want kids? And then it's like it's other people that make you think about it. Like, well, dang, I guess I'm supposed to.
Right?
Well, should I? And but when I peeled back everything, it's like, okay, these are other people's desires for me. What do I want?
Yeah.
And what I want is to have an authentic experience in this world. Yeah. And I don't want to live in the future. I want to be here today, you know, and I want to have contentment with my journey. I don't want to be fearful of what may or may not happen, you know, based on what somebody else has.
Right.
You know, so I let all of that go.
Yeah.
Then I did get to experience, you know, auntie-hood.
Right.
Which does fill a huge hole. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it does a lot. So now I don't feel any pressure. People don't ask me anymore. I never get are you going to have...
They like, oh,
it's to the point where it's like,
They already know.
okay, I'm not going to insult her.
trained them well.
Well, yeah,
Good job.
I mean, it never bothered me that much. I just found it funny that, you know, when you haven't seen somebody for a while, the first thing they ask, are you dating anybody?
Right.
You know, when you get married, it's just like, there's more to life than that. I just need you to know that. I understand. But it doesn't upset me.
Right.
Yeah.
You know who I really feel sorry for? People who are married and don't have kids. They get the real pressure.
They get the question.
They get the licks.
All the time.
They
It's
do.
like,
They do.
relax.
And what's so
We're
crazy-
a family.
Yes.
Right. And what's
Yes.
crazy is I don't want to, I mean, like, I feel like Forrest Gump because I have an example for everything, but I
No,
know
come on, for the
a
example.
family, I mean, not a family, but some friends of mine that from high school that got married to each other. They've been married years. I mean, they probably been married like 12, 15 years or something and decided long ago, like when you said that, that they wasn't what they were going to, and they keep...
And they're a family.
And they're a family.
Family
And they're
of two.
beautiful.
Yes.
And they get to rip and run and spoil all the
And
everybody's.
low-key,
Kind of have it made.
kind of have it.
Listen.
I'm like,
Kind of have
Now,
it
that's the
made.
best scenario right there.
Kind of have it made.
Like,
Like I can.
the idea of creating something with somebody that I love.
Yes.
Okay. A man that I'm in love with. Of course, I want to have your baby. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But if he good, and I can see how we could get to a place
could
and be
just-
like, we good.
We good.
That's a
Because
nice
here's
life.
also the thing. When we were talking about the timeline, like, yeah, we have to pay attention. I'm approaching 40 in February. It's in your brain.
Come on, welcome to the club,
Listen,
sis.
40 is about to be everything. They don't even know, okay? But yeah, so I'm approaching that. And, you know, even though 40 and all that's going to be amazing, the timeline is still, and the biological clocks and all the things are still what they are. And who wants to be 46 and 7 months pregnant?
Now, see, let's talk about that.
Who wants to be 49 with a 3-year-old?
We have time.
Who wants to be 52?
That's the
Well,
only.
some people
six-month-old.
now 50
I want you to tell me somebody
Please,
wants to
besides
be
Janet
60.
Jackson, you're not allowed to mention her.
Halle Berry.
Tamron Hall.
And she, first of all,
She's
I
fabulous.
will
I love
say,
Tamron.
they
She's
look so
fabulous.
fly. They make it
love
look so
her.
fly, but they
She's so
also are
fabulous.
rich. They make it
Well,
look
I
fly.
mean-
They got help. Ain't no way,
That's
Tamron, they
true.
got help. Ain't
That's
no
true.
way.
That's true.
But the 50 of this generation is way different than the 50 of our parents' generation.
That's also true.
Our bodies
I
are
can't
different.
find a
Our
grandma
health is different.
anywhere.
Anywhere.
Grandma's.
Exactly.
Where
like, what?
is a
50
grandma?
where? What?
Right.
So you take into account that people are feeling better.
Yeah.
They're healthier. They're spunkier.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I was 20, the thought of having a child at 40 was like, oh, I would never.
Right.
I'll be so old. And then that came and I was like, honey.
Listen, do you know how
she's
fly
still
that child
here.
would be at this point?
How what?
How fly the child would be at this point in my life than the 23-year-old Kelly having a baby?
Because you have your finances, you have your wits.
Yes.
Like that was Jennifer said this in a previous episode. Just she is able to mother differently because you have a better. Well, you should have a better temperament.
Yes.
Even in raising your child.
Right.
You're not as irrational. You know what I mean? So you're more confident. You know who you are. You understand structure, and you don't feel like you're gonna miss out on anything. You lived your
Yes.
life.
Done it.
You lived your life.
You've done it.
And
It's
you
like I could
figured out
raise a
how
kid.
to really incorporate this.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I mean, if I'm healthy, continue to be healthy, then I
Yes.
mean, I guess 50 years old and having a 10-year-old ain't that bad.
Oh, having a 10-year-old at 50. No, I don't think that's bad. But having a 10-month-old at 50? Without the Halle Berry help, without the... that's because...
Just us.
I mean, I would love... I'm speaking that over all of our lives and all the viewers and
Listen,
everyone.
I receive it.
I receive it with arms wide open.
Holly very help.
Yes.
Yes. But you're right. Without that, it could be
It could be just
So
a
are
smidge
you
bit
are
challenging.
you saying that you feel like the older you are, the more help you're going to need?
low key. I feel like the older I am, the less bothered I'm going to want to be. I'm like, ain't nobody trying to change those diapers.
Baby,
So that child is going to be bad. You're going to be like, look, let him have it.
Look, I'm going to be just like this.
Let him have it.
I'm a Moshell, like, he all right. I don't know, sis. I really don't know. I mean, I'm saying that, but maybe I won't.
Stressful. You know, young parents be stressed.
They be stressed.
That first child, they be like,
don't touch, don't this, don't that.
And the third child.
Third child is like, child, they all right.
Whatever. The older brother would look at him.
So you get straight to that third child vibe.
Third child,
when you have a kid at 50.
Just go straight to the third child vibe.
Oh my
know
gosh.
where the baby is.
Right? Well, this has been great. Did we miss anything? Because we're going to go to the game.
I don't think so.
Nothing at all? I feel like we really hit everything.
We had everything
that was
on
fun.
there.
I like that.
We're finally at the part that I've been waiting for. I sound like Oprah. Yes. We are ready to play your game, Lyrikel Genius.
Yes.
So first, we're going to download it as you explain what it is, but tell us how to spell it.
Yes. Okay. So that's the fun part. It is Lyrikel Genius, but it's spelled Lyrikel for Kelly. So you never forget.
Lyrikel.
And then, we have to always put a little spice on it to make it our own. So,
Okay.
And I will also say it's copywritten, trademarked, patent protected, all the yummy things. So that makes me super, super excited.
Okay.
Lyrikel Genius.
Lyrikel Genius.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. So it's available on the App Store and Play Store. The iOS systems interface seamlessly. So the concept is that song lyrics are phrased in the form of a question, and then lyrics that come before it or after it help you answer.
Oh.
One more time.
Yes. So song lyrics are phrased in the form of the question. So the exact lyrics from the song are made into a question, and then you use the lyrics that come before it or after it to help you answer.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay, let's see how this goes.
I like this.
All right.
So there are card decks that play and, a regular game night, but the app allows you to, like I said, play single player. Then after you subscribe, you get the ability to play multiplayer, which is you plus up to 3 people to play in a game at the same time, and you don't have to be together.
I love that part. You could be anywhere.
You could be anywhere.
Kind of like Words with Friends.
Yes, and you can you'll send your friend a notification that you're challenging them to whatever. They challenge. Yes. And the question pops up on each person's screen at the same time. Whoever hits the buzzer first gets a chance to answer. And then, since we're not together, it'll tell me, oh, Sophia buzzed in, or Jennifer buzzed in, or Sophia got the wrong answer.
Sophia got the right answer.
So
We shall see.
that's it. I'll give an example because sometimes sometimes it's a one-word answer, like, what did Brandy want to be?
Down.
Yes.
Uh-oh. You gotta be quick. You gotta be down
See, I
and
wasn't
quick.
even, my brain wasn't there
Exactly,
yet.
I know, but I'm already ready to go. Let's go. Let's go. Okay.
Uh-oh. Okay.
I'm the captain now. When Gerald Levert is fiending for your body, what number does he call?
Shoot, I don't know this. Gerald Levert.
Hint.
Oh yeah.
What's the hint?
You don't have any.
No! Wait to get a hint?
Yeah, you gotta buy hints, and I think you'll get one a day.
Use all your money. Okay, hold on.
I
meant to buzz. You buzz?
Yes, I did.
Oh, the fun thing is you can either type it
555.
or you can sing it. Because there's a microphone.
555. Never mind.
What song is this?
I don't think that's right.
5.
Wait, you have
oh,
to-
You sound like a jingle.
Hold it and wait.
5. I gave the wrong answer.
Okay, so let me see.
So now I have to wait on her.
Uh-huh.
Y'all have got to
I mean,
play this game.
this has to be.
Oh my god.
Now, how do I? Oh,
I know
submit?
they know. They
Yes.
judging us right now.
Oh, she got it right.
No, she got
Oh, I
it
did?
wrong.
I got it right.
What'd you
Wait,
put?
it said wrong. I said 911.
Oh,
It's not-
yeah. It's the rest is 911
I was gonna put
0024.
Look, how does get
What
an
does
R&B?
Kanye want you to send him? Oh. Your location. Your location.
You know what?
Oh, hold on.
Ooh,
Why the heck did they put that? Your location.
Ooh, come on, time. Come on, time. Come on,
How do I
time.
do it?
Submit at the bottom.
Yeah! Finally, somebody got a right answer. Come on, I need more
It was silly of
time.
Denise to think that you could do what? Silly of you,
You need to
think
stop
that
buzzing me.
I
She
could
don't know
ever.
the answer. That's what you need to do.
Silly of me to think that I could ever have you by my side. How I. That ain't it. The wrong
Nah,
lyric.
boo. That ain't
Jesus.
it.
But just see,
Let me think that I could ever have you by my side. Submit.
that's my guy.
Boom. Thank you.
You just told her the answer.
I'm
this is
sorry.
not
That's
acceptable.
where my guess.
Ever have.
Scratch.
Time.
What
You're
you still be
cheating.
wrong?
You're cheating.
God.
You're cheating.
What?
If you win, I know why. Okay, last one. LL Cool J said, conventional methods of making love kind of bore him. So what does he want to do? You don't even know. You don't know what L want to do.
L wants to.
You don't know what he want to do.
Dang, what do he want to do?
You know this? Yeah, we got to do, maybe we should do country music. We got praise and worship on here?
It's coming.
Okay, because I'm like,
Love you. Make love.
hey, my turn.
Hey, you gotta be quick with this.
Said conventional methods of
Conventional lessons of making love kind of boring me. I wanna knock your block off, knock your socks off.
knock your boots off.
Oh God. You're talking into it.
Yeah, you can talk into it.
Oh, that's
you
better.
see that? Yeah.
What does a bugaboo make Destiny's Child want to do?
Oh. Hey, what are you doing? How come I can't buzz? What are you doing?
You make me want to throw my window out. You make me want to.
Yeah, do that. Do
No,
that.
no.
She ran out of time.
You make me
Okay.
want to. No,
Hold
don't
on.
do it, please.
Throw your number. Oh, you
No,
gotta
no,
hold
no,
it.
don't say nothing.
Oh.
She ain't got it. She ain't got it.
You make. Oh gosh.
Go ahead, say
Allow.
it. She ain't got it.
You make me want
Yo,
to throw
we look bad
your
old
number
right now.
out the window. Tell MCI to cut the phone pole. Throw
Guess
my
what?
cell phone.
Wrong.
Oh God.
You made me want to throw my pager out the window. Tell MCI to cut the phone calls. Break my lease so I can move. According to Beyonce, you should say this really loud if you're fly. You don't even know what Beyonce said to do if you fly. You don't know.
Beyonce, she said, if you fly, sway? Slay.
No, ma'am.
Pat your, oh, God.
Say it really loud if you're fly. Dun, dun, dun,
What?
dun,
What
dun,
song is
dun,
that?
dun. My baby is a 10. He took me to the
album
pick
is
me up.
I know
he
every
ate,
Beyonce
baby.
song. I ain't never heard that. Countdown.
Yes.
9, 8, 7.
I don't even, that's the one I don't really know.
3, 2, 1.
That is.
Out of your mind. But she also used that sample. She didn't.
All right, y'all, go and get Lyrikel Genius. As you can see, listen.
About to get hot in here,
I
okay?
feel like I need to play another category because I have just humiliated myself on, look, I was about to say national television,
Yes,
but at this point, YouTube is national
It's
television.
national
This is global television.
I
Yes,
get that
it's
a lot.
global.
They
It's
say
Thanks for sharing this game with us.
This is fun.
Challenge round 2. Let's begin.
Oh.